Me and Jacob Powell decided to work together to build a level. The theme we decided to pick was Fortress, as we thought it could fit in with a first-person tower defense kind of game. Our inspiration was games such as Sanctum and Orcs Must Die, because we like their cartoony kind of textures and models. We also thought this was quite a lot different to what a lot of other people were doing, and we could add some cool lighting to it. We quickly established that I was going to build the level and Jacob was going to build the textures and models. This gave us both one thing to concentrate on. The white box is set so there are several different routes that enemies can take. One goes up the stairs, onto the balcony, and leads to the Nexus room. The other one goes across the bridge, into the treasure room, and then also leads into the Nexus room. The reason we chose to do this is because it gives the enemies more than one route to take, making it harder for the player as they have to move around the map. We also decided to add a lift. Because the player will need to move around the map so quickly, it also allows them to jump to the top level or the bottom level without having to walk all the way around. Here are some pictures of models that we decided to build. The rest of the models in the map we decided to download as we didn't have time to build them. These will be things such as books, treasure chests, coins, bottles, and small things like that. We found very quickly that we overused certain models. While there is nothing wrong with this, we would have much preferred to have made or found more models so that things weren't repeated as much, and if we had the chance, this is something we would like to change. We also used small things to help guide the player around the map, such as placing a rug on the floor facing the stairs so the player can follow it. Same with the arch above it, it shows that there is something important this way. Originally, we wanted to build our own textures, but due to not enough time, we decided to download them instead. We wanted to avoid using any default textures, but we also wanted some quality in them. So we decided to add normal maps to the textures to make them look as if they were bumpy. We would have much preferred to have built our own textures, as they would have been to our own standards. The lava went for a few changes. Originally it was just a blank texture, but we wanted to make it look more realistic, so we added emissive lighting which made it glow and also made it move. We wanted to do something different with our lighting. We gave the player a dimly lit torch and they can use this torch to light the torches on the wall which will reveal different objects. The player can light as many torches as they want. We feel like this is an important feature as it doesn't only add effect to the lighting but it also gives the player something else to do. We deleted the default lighting on the torch particle and we built our own using red, yellow and white lights, which we made flicker, and we feel like it would add a more realistic feeling to the map. Later on the game started to have a few more changes, so we felt like a few more particle effects were needed. First of all, we put a particle effect going around the Nexus to make it look as if it's a very important part of the map and also make it like very rememberable. As you go, like obviously as you're walking around, you see it and it looks like quite an important place. So like you need to remember it. And also we added laser particles. And obviously the laser particles were things that you had to dodge, and obviously if you don't, they would kill you. But the reason we decided to add the one going around the Nexus is because as you go around, you actually have to get led up the top where the elevator is and actually back through that room. So obviously we would have a camera come through and show another door open in there, and we wanted players to remember that room somehow. And that specific particle effect actually helps the player remember exactly where that room is, so there's no confusion as they're walking around the map trying to find the room. Originally the game was completely different, and we felt like it was a little bit too basic, so we felt like completely changing it, and this is where big changes in the map actually took place. We felt like by the end of it the map was like a completely different map, which was very good. The idea of it was we wanted to keep the theme of slowly revealing the map, but we didn't want to ruin the map too much. So what we decided to do was in the first room, we'd make a basic tutorial, space to jump, control to crouch, and you would have to jump over and crouch under a laser, and when you get to the end you can press E, which would activate a switch, revealing the next room, and then as you go into that room you could light your torches on the wall, and you'd have to find a weapon to smash a chest because there'd be a message saying, oh, this chest looks breakable, and then that would reveal the next room. And the idea was to go around and do that, and you would finally, you go down the elevator and you'd reveal the final room, and then that's where the end of the game would take place. It was much better than the original, as it was actually, it had more player interaction and the game would last longer, and it wasn't just a matter of running around, doing nothing. So we felt like this was a big improvement into the game. You'll see on the video now exactly the changes that took place, and we feel like we are in a very strong place with the game now, and we're very proud of it. Originally, we felt like there could be a lot more improvements into the game, but near the end of it, I decided to spend a lot more time on scripting, so the game was a lot more improved. However, there are a few things we still wish we could change if we had more time. I've already explained about how we wish we could have made our own textures, but we also wish we could have used less BSPs throughout the map, as there was a lot of them. I'd much prefer to have some static meshes on my walls and have more detail in, and it'd also allow me to do some more vertex painting, which would allow me to add moss and dirt onto the walls. But unfortunately, we didn't have time to do that. We also wish we could have built more 3D models, but again, there wasn't a lot of time, and we built a good chunk. But compared to what changes we did have originally, we decided to sit down near the end and do a lot more scripting and things like that. So there aren't as many things we wish we could change anymore, as the game is it's a lot better than it originally was. There's actually a lot more we like about the map than we actually dislike. We like the idea that if you look at the layout of the map from the very first ever plan we did, it pretty much matches what we've built, and that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. We knew from the very beginning exactly the layout we wanted to do, and that it showed in the end. We think our 3D models are to a very good standard as well. We wish we could have built more, but the ones that we did build were they were quite well textured. But especially they were well made, and they were a very small poly count as well, so it wasn't lagging the game out too much. In fact, the most of the models that were lagging out the game a little bit were actually deleted, but they were all downloaded. So we actually managed to keep it at a very good poly count too. So we also, in the original plan, we wanted to have a lot more cartoony textures, as I mentioned before, but in the end the actual textures are a little bit more realistic. This is because they were easier to find, and we didn't have too much time to sit and make our own. So we thought maybe it'd be a better idea to just add more realistic textures, and it still worked very well. Overall, we are very impressed with what we've done, and we think we've managed our time quite well. The only thing we think we didn't manage very well was the scripting, but right at the end we managed to sit down and just get it done. So overall, we think we did very well. Obviously, we've explained the things we wish we could have improved, and we've also explained the things we liked, but we think overall our time was managed very well. We hit every milestone, and we think we were very happy with the actual choice we chose. We were glad we chose to do a fortress. We just wanted to keep to what different ideas we wanted, because we didn't want everything to be torch like hand torch lit. We wanted actual lighting in the game, so we had to find a way around doing that and doing it in our own way, and we were quite impressed with how we did it. We've got a few ideas that are quite outside the box, and we are very impressed by them.